Hello, Miss Simpson. Have a very good afternoon.
Afternoon, Miss Simpson. Hello, Emma.
Sneaking off, are you, Emily?
I wouldn't call it sneaking, Lucy. Anyway, who's talking? You've been out all day.
I'm not going to tell you where.
You didn't find it?
No.
You'll be buying me tea this year, my dear. You wait and see.
Chance would be a fine thing.
Spurred coral root.
Out you go.
I'm so sorry. You see, I didn't know who to call. Yes. You've been most helpful. Thank you. Good evening. I'd like a number in Brighton, please. Hello, what number is it you require?
This is it here, sir.
Really, Troy? I'd never have guessed.
Morning, Tom. Haven't seen you in a while. We only meet when there's a corpse.
How'd she die?
That's easy, broken neck. But the question is, did she fall?
Or was she pushed?
Yes, I noticed that too. Scuff marks on the carpet.
Well, she might not have fallen at all. Blow to the back of the neck and...
Then dragged over here, make it look like an accident, but it doesn't make sense.
Okay, I'll get the case down. Have to call out another ambulance later on.
I mean, who'd want to bump off an 8-year-old spinster? Not even rich. She used to be a teacher.
Who called us in?
The old girl who lives opposite. She thinks it's murder.
Well, of course it was murder. I saw Emily come home about 6 o'clock and I knew something was wrong.
How exactly did you know, Miss Bellringer?
Well, she slammed the door for a start. Now, some people close doors and some people slam them. Emily was very much a closer.
Well, is that it?
And she didn't padlock her tricycle. Now, Emily was very particular about this. She was afraid of thieves. We all are these days. But it's no reflection on you, Chief Inspector, but to leave her tricycle like that, she must have been very upset.
Do you have any idea what might have upset her?
No, I told you the last time I spoke to her, she was about to go into the wood.
Looking for this flower?
The spurred coral root. And it's an orchid, not a flower. It's been 7 years since we saw one, and I found it that time, so Emily had to give me tea at the Regency Hotel. It was our little competition.
Well, maybe she couldn't find it. Maybe that's what upset her.
I hardly think so.
Would Miss Simpson have picked the orchid if she'd found it?
Oh, no, she'd have marked the position and photographed it. We have pointers, red ribbons for her and yellow for me.
Very nice.
There was a camera on Miss Simpson's table. We'll check if there's a film inside.
Right.
Well, thank you, Miss Bellringer.
Oh, you will look into this, Chief Inspector, because I know something is wrong.
We'll look into it, Miss Bellringer.
Well, I shall have to go over tomorrow. I still haven't told the bees.
I'm sorry?
Well, you have to tell the bees when somebody dies. Otherwise, they just clear off.
Clear off a rocker, if you ask me.
You didn't believe her?
Well, what you got to go on? A slammed door and a trike that wasn't padlocked. It's a waste of time. Are you Mr. Barnaby?
Detective Chief Inspector Barnaby, yes? Who are you?
My name is Dennis. Dennis Rainbird. My card.
Oh, you're an undertaker.
Yes. I am based in Causton, but as it happens, I live here in Badger's Drift, and I thought I ought to pop by. Miss Simpson was a client.
I'm sorry?
She prepaid. Our satin service. It's one of our complete funeral packages. Very upmarket, although, between you and me, I let her have it at a discount. She taught my mum, you know.
Well, what can I do for you, Mr. Rainbird?
I was wondering if I could take her, the deceased.
Oh, I'm afraid that won't be possible for a little while.
Oh, so you do suspect some naughtiness. It was her neck, I understand.
Who told you that?
Oh, come on, everyone knows by now. It's that sort of village.
Well, you can't have the body yet. All right? Sir?
Oh. I see you've got a right constable there. You let me know when you're ready for me.
See the car?
Yes.
You wouldn't have thought they were so well paid, would you? Undertakers.
Check out that camera and the telephones. Find out what calls Miss Simpson made after 6 o'clock.
So you're taking it seriously then, sir?
No, Troy. Actually, I'm just filling in time till tea.
Right. Oh, camera and telephone, right. What about you?
I must find the doctor.
Something wrong, sir?
Emily Simpson's doctor, Troy. Maybe she did suffer from dizzy spells. Maybe she did just fall. Either way, I want to know.
No. Well, she never complained to me. She was remarkably fit for her age.
When did you last see her, Dr. Liciter?
A couple of days ago. Well, I don't know. I liked to drop in at the end of my rounds. You know, glass of sherry and all that.
You didn't talk to her at all in the last 24 hours?
No, I was away in Corston all day yesterday. Local hospital.
No, you weren't, Daddy. That was Tuesday.
What?
You go to Corston on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm just trying to be helpful.
Yes. You're right. Thank you, Judith. Of course, I was in all day yesterday. I was watching the cricket, a test match.
You're not treating this as murder, are you, Inspector?
We're not ruling anything out, Mrs. Liciter.
Well, I was in Corston all day yesterday. Shopping. I like shopping. Ask Pookie.
No need to follow my wife, Inspector. Just follow her credit card slips.
God.
Judy! I don't know what's the matter with her at the moment.
It's that boy she's seeing.
Yes. He's an artist, local chap. I can call her back if you like.
No, that's all right. I take it Judy is your stepdaughter, Mrs. Liciter.
Yes. I'm Trevor's second wife.
You know, I really don't know how we can help you, Inspector.
Do you know anyone who might have had a grudge against Miss Simpson? Any reason to cause her harm?
No. I mean, no one would want to hurt her. She didn't have an enemy in the world.
Is that the big bad policeman?
Yeah, Inspector Barnaby.
He doesn't have a blue light on his car.
I wish he hadn't come.
Hold it. Just like that.
Michael?
I love that look. Right now. It's the eyes.
Really?
Yes. Sad and soft. Just a little bit of fear.
I wish you wouldn't embarrass me like that.
Really? How do you like to be embarrassed then, Pookie?
What were you buying in Corston?
Oh, just some clothes.
I'm surprised there are any clothes left to buy.
Don't start, Trevor.
You have an allowance, Barbara, a generous one. If you overspend again...
You'll do what, Pookie?
Hello? Yes, this is Barbara Liciter. Who is this? What do you want?
I think we both know what I want, my dear. The only question you should be asking is... How much? £500, Mrs. Liciter. That's what it'll cost to keep me quiet. Otherwise, I've got a story to tell, haven't I?
Who was it?
No one.
What?
Oh, go away, Pookie. Go away and leave me alone.
That's right, Troy.
Dinner's ready, Tom.
Yes, Troy, thank you. That's exactly what I want to know. Thank you. What's this then?
It's Delia Smith. Stewed neck of lamb with mushroom dumplings. You can't go wrong with Delia Smith.
That's what I'd always thought.
Was that Sergeant Troy just now?
Yes.
No, I'd like to meet him one day.
No, you wouldn't.
How's the new investigation going?
I think it is murder, Joyce. Don't just think it. Feel it.
She was very old, wasn't she, Emily Simpson? How did she die?
Someone broke her. Someone broke her neck.
You know, Cully's coming tomorrow. She's going to want to see a bit of you.
Yeah.
Just I know how you are when you get started on a case.
Yes. I have to go out this evening, I'm afraid.
Oh, Tom.
Emily Simpson made 2 telephone calls before she died. That's what Troy was telling me just now. One was to Directory Inquiries. She wanted a number in Brighton, but she never got round to saying what it was.
What about the other one?
Well, that's the odd thing. She made a phone call to the local helpline.
I understand that. I completely understand that. I know how you feel.
She could still come back to you, Brian. I mean, I think that's what you're saying. There's still hope.
I'm still here, Stephen.
Yeah?
You take your time.
Take sugar for you, Terry.
I'm right here.
I've got to talk to someone. I don't know what to do. And that was how she started. Something like that.
Go on.
And then she said she'd seen something. She said she had to tell someone about it. She said it was unbelievable.
Did she say what it was?
No,
Didn't you press her?
we're not meant to. Anyway, then she said she was going to call someone else. That she knew who to call. And then she thanked me and rang off.
And there was nothing more?
I'm sorry, Inspector. I know there was something else, but I can't think.
Well, if it does come to you, you can give us a ring.
Yes, of course.
Well, thank you, Miss Beasley.
Terry. We only use Christian names here. Tom.
Yes, please. 2 bacon. Scrambled egg. And toast. Thank you.
Morning, sir. Don't you get a cooked breakfast at home, sir?
No, Troy, I do not.
I got that medical report from Dr. Bullard, sir. Struck with a heavy object as yet unidentified at the base of the neck. Looks like Emily Simpson was murdered after all.
I'm amazed, Troy.
Oh, and I got those photographs that you wanted developed. The ones from her camera? Looks like she found that flower.
It must be somewhere around here. Can I see the photograph again?
This must be the first police search organised for a flower.
It's an orchid.
Sir!
Oh, there's Emily's marker. That's the orchid. Spurred coral root. Oh, it's so beautiful. Oh, poor Emily.
Well, she wasn't killed because she found an orchid.
No, Troy. But she found something, and it upset her enough. No, don't move.
What is it?
Use your eyes, Troy. Grass flattened, brambles broken.
What, you think someone's been having it away? Is that what Emily Simpson saw? 2 people bonking. Oh, sorry.
Troy, you got a pair of tweezers or something?
Swiss Army knife, sir.
Thank you.
What is it?
Piece of black fibre.
Off the clothes?
No, I don't think so. That's a blanket or rug, something like that.
Well, that would make sense, wouldn't it?
Right.
I want the whole place gone over.
Yes, sir. Right. I want this whole area gone over. Do you really think that's what it came down to, sir? That she saw two people at it?
Looks like it, Troy.
Why would they want to kill her? Unless it was adultery. I suppose it could have been arse bandits.
What?
Way in the wood.
You mean homosexuals, Troy?
Well, that's what I said.
You are as politically correct as a Nuremberg rally. Whose house do you think this could be, then?
Why?
It's got a room with a view.
Be Mr. Barnaby, Iris Rainbird. Do come in. Oh, and you too, dear. Just in time for tea.
See you next week, Mrs. Rainbird.
Thank you, Ella. Thank you, dear. My cleaner, dishonest, and she drinks, but good domestic helpers, impossible round here. Do come in, come in. Straight ahead, straight ahead. Do sit down. Dilly, pot to kettle. Now then, how can I help you? Oh, poor Miss Simpson. She taught me at school, you know.
Yes, your son told me.
Oh, that's right. Dennis said he'd met you.
Seems to me, Mrs. Rainbird, you must see a lot from your eyrie.
My hide. Yes, I'm a keen observer of wildlife. Birds.
I thought I saw a pair of binoculars.
Yes. You'd be amazed how many species I can pick up. Oh, here's Denny. You good boy. Here's the tea.
Do help yourself, Chief Inspector. The clubs are anchovy, salmon spread in the hearts, marmite spades, and potted meat diamonds.
I'll just have the cup of tea, thank you.
Yeah, and me, thanks.
Now, I expect you want to know if I saw anyone around at the time of Miss Simpson's death.
That was in my mind, Mrs. Rainbird. Did you? It must have been about...
between 7 and 8 yesterday evening. And yes, Mr. Barnaby, there was someone. Katherine Lacey. She lives in Holly Cottage. That's just the other side of the village to Miss Simpson's place. She lives with her brother, Michael Lacey. Calls himself an artist.
Not that you'll find her there.
Oh, no. If you want to talk to her, try Ty House.
Ty House?
She's getting married next week. Done very nicely for herself.
Dennis?
Oh, come on, Mummy. It's the talk of the whole village ever since the shooting.
Poor Bella.
I'm surprised you people didn't investigate it more. Bella Trace dying like that.
Yes, but they did say it was just an accident, dear.
Suppose it's just an accident that 2 years later our Katherine is marrying the widower.
Henry Trace. Such a gentleman.
Years older than her and stinking rich.
Where exactly was Katherine Lacey heading when you saw her, Mrs. Rainbird?
Oh, well, I don't really know. I mean, she had one of her dogs with her, and she was carrying an envelope. So I suppose she was going to the post office. But then the phone rang, and when I got back, she'd gone.
Iced sombrero, Constable?
No, thank you. And I'm a sergeant.
And Katherine Lacey was the only person you saw yesterday evening. Is that right?
Yes.
You know, Mrs. Rainbird, I'd have said that 8 o'clock was a bit late for your hobby. I mean, what are you likely to see flying at that time?
Owls.
Oh, those two give me the creeps. Oh, a gay undertaker. You don't suppose it was him in the wood, do you?
I somehow doubted, Troy.
So what about Katherine Lacey and Ty House?
Not today.
Well, they certainly had it in for him.
That's right, Troy. But I'm going home to see my daughter. Katherine Lacey can wait.
Hi, Dad.
Hello, you. What happened to the green hair?
That was last term, Dad.
And the tattoo?
It washed off.
Good to see you, Cully. How long are you staying, love?
Oh, the whole week, if that's okay. Have you told him? She's got the lead part in a play. John Ford. It's a pity she's a whore. I've come home to learn my lines.
I thought you were studying art history.
Oh, it's just for fun. I don't know, I might switch though, I like drama. Would you go through my lines with me?
I doubt you'll have time, dear.
Not much meat on this chicken, is there?
It's not a chicken, it's a quail. How's the case going, Dad? Is it murder?
Certainly hard work. I'll get it. Hello.
Hello, Inspector Barnaby. This is Terry Paisley at the helpline.
Oh, yes.
I've just remembered what that old lady said to me. The one who died. And I thought I ought to give you a ring.
Oh, yes, well, please, go on, Miss Paisley.
Terry. Well, it doesn't make much sense, but she said, just like poor Annabella. That's what she said.
Annabella. You sure she didn't just say Bella?
Might have been, but I don't think so. Just like poor Annabella. And then she hung up.
Well, thank you very much for calling me, Terry. Thank you very much.
Come on, Mummy, it's the talk of the whole village ever since the shooting.
Poor Bella.
I'm surprised you people didn't investigate it more. Bella Trace dying like that.
Who was that?
That was the helpline.
Aren't you supposed to call them?
Well, things aren't quite as bad as that. Except that I might have 2 murders now instead of just 1.
What, a broken neck?
And a shooting.
All in a day's work?
I'm glad you've come home, Cully.
Will you read my lines with me?
I'll try.
Dad, I brought you a present from Cambridge.
What is it? What's it?
It's chicken and ham.
Don't tell me you've got it! Oh, the rug! Oh, you clever, clever boy! Where did you find it?
In the pond behind the quarry. I saw them throw it in, tied round some stones.
Yes.
How much do you think it's worth?
Think what the police will make of it if their forensic people get hold of it.
They'd have a field day.
Oh, this is the big one, Denny. This is going to make us very, very rich.
Mummy.
Oh, who's a good boy then? Who's a good boy?
Not a lot here, Troy.
That's all I could find, sir. Bella Trace shot in a hunting accident. 2 columns in the local rag and a coroner's report. Accidental death.
Jake! Troy! Bella. I wonder what that's short for.
This is Ty House here, sir. How the other half live, eh?
Rather less than half, I'd say, Troy.
Who are you? What do you want? I'm Detective Inspector Barnaby. And this is Detective Sergeant Troy. Who are you?
I'm sorry, I'm David Whiteley, Henry's estate manager. Mr. Trace. I suppose you hear about that school teacher?
Emily Simpson. You knew her?
No, never met her.
I don't suppose you were in the village at any time between 6 and 8 on Wednesday?
No. No, don't remember where I was. Out in the field.
Is Mr. Trace at home?
Yes, but it's not a particularly good time. He's getting married next week.
Well, we won't take up too much of his time, sir.
He's in the drawing room.
Bella? I don't understand. I thought you were here about the teacher, Miss Simpson.
We are, sir, but just before she died, Miss Simpson may have referred to your late wife in a phone call she made.
She mentioned Bella?
She referred to her as poor Annabella.
You've got the wrong Bella. Nobody ever called her that.
Had she been taught by Miss Simpson, sir?
Yes, as a matter of fact, she had, but she was just Bella.
If it's not too painful, sir, I'd be interested to know how your wife died.
It is painful, and I don't see how it's relevant.
Miss Simpson could have known your wife as Annabella. As a nickname, pet name, something like that. If there is a connection...
There is no connection.
We need to be sure.
Well, if you insist. It was 2 years ago, the start of the season. There weren't many of us out there. Myself, Bella, David Whiteley, my manager. And Bella's sister had also come along. Phyllis Cadell. She didn't show that often. Always wondered why she chose that day of all days. Anyway, Dr. Leicester was there. Known him for years. He had a couple of friends down from London. Then there was Michael Lacey, young friend of mine. He comes a beater, you know, to scare the birds. I suppose it's always easy to talk about these things with hindsight, but I've often felt we were really fated that day. Bella tripped on a root and twisted her ankle rather badly. I suggested she go home, but she said it was too far. We were on the other side of the village. Maybe if I'd been more forceful, she'd be with us now.
Thanks.
It happened, 10 minutes later. Michael was standing right next to her.